What's up, everybody? I'm Brett Medlock, here today with Himanshu Talwar.
Hello.
We just checked out the Xseed booth where they had a ton of awesome games, and we're going to talk about them. Which one was your favorite?
My favorite game at the Xseed booth by far was Fate Extella, which is a continuation of their PSP game that you might have already played called Fate Extra.
I didn't even play the demo, but I will say that game looks the coolest out of them all.
Definitely. So it's a grand scale hack and slash game is what they're calling it. In other words, it's a Musou game. It looks exactly like Dynasty Warriors, but it's way better. You guys, if you know me, you know that I hate the newer Dynasty Warriors games because they all feel kind of the same. Fate Extella, while it keeps the Musou formula, is so much quicker, so much smoother, and adds a bunch of new kind of mechanics where each area that you need to conquer is controlled by a set of enemies that can either be different servants or different really big monsters. And you have to clear these out and keep gaining control of the area until you finally control a majority. And once you've done so, you can move on and fight the final boss and clear that mission. One thing very significant about Xseed that you guys might know is that they are very combative against censorship, and while they wouldn't give us any specifics, they did hint at the fact that Fate Extella includes some very interesting source material-esque bonding stuff, so we might see a little bit of sexy scenes, a couple sexy scenes here and there, and their transformation is like really Sailor Moon-esque, where your clothes disappear and there's a little bit of like light, and then you have new clothes. They assured us that no censorship would be done whatsoever, and I'm holding you to that. The game is coming out in the winter for North America and doesn't have any set release date for Japan, which is kind of
Vita,
odd.
most important aspect of this game.
And it is PSTV compatible.
Yep.
So all of you people with your PSTVs, which is like 6 people, something like that.
Yeah, so although there's no Vitas on the floor, there is Vita games on the floor.
The game runs at 60 frames 1080p, which is really nice for a game that fast, and
so many enemies on screen. It's amazing.
A ridiculous amount of enemies on screen. I know Brett made a remark when we were playing through kind of the end of the demo, where I was at like a 2,000 combo, and this is a game not at the scale of a Dynasty Warriors game where you're not racking up tens of thousands of combo, but it's more like a Senran Kagura game. It's that kind of pace. So in a game like that, you expect to hit maybe 500, and I was over 2,000, so a lot of enemies on screen that you're hitting at the same time.
Yeah, pretty awesome. And we only talked about one game, so we should go through a couple of the smaller ones real quick.
Yep, so 2 of the smaller games that we played, the first one was called Exile's End.
Oh,
you want to talk about that?
Okay, Exile's End is basically Axiom Verge, but not nearly as good.
So much worse.
So the jumping and the shooting, all so clunky, so dated. I get that it's going for like an NES vibe, but it's a bit too much. It doesn't go with today's standard in gaming, even for smaller games like that.
I understand the charm of a game like that, but
looks good.
We've made so many advancements since then. Like, what type of gamer, even if you're a retro gamer like Sean Long from Nintendo Enthusiast, doesn't want to shoot down? Like, that's something that we've grown to love and appreciate, that we don't go 10 steps backwards.
Yeah, okay, so first off, you can't shoot diagonally at all. So that immediately makes killing enemies that are flying almost impossible. Like, if you jump, like if you jump in one direction, you have to completely hit the ground before you can turn around and shoot. So it's super hard.
Yeah, the game overall looked very clunky. I personally didn't play it. Brett was doing most of the playing, but the reason for that, I just kind of pushed it over to him because I knew it was going to be garbage.
And not to mention, there's worms on the ground, and you can't shoot diagonally down at them. You have to jump over them. I guess you can't ever kill them.
Exactly. You might be looking at some of the B-roll or some of the trailers for this game and thinking, hey, this doesn't look like a Marvelous game, this doesn't look like an Xseed game. Well, it is developed in Japan, but the story is written by a former Australian expat who designed a game, showed it to Marvel, and they kind of took the game from there. So it's a very nice hybrid between Western and Eastern markets, but at least on the aesthetic side, it looks much more like a Western game.
Yeah, it looks like a Western game. It runs good, but it plays terribly. It is coming to Vita, so I guess that's the best thing about it. If they can fix the minor issues, well, they're kind of major issues. If they can fix those by the time the game launches, I'm sure it'll be something good. Nothing excellent, but playable.
And so that game is coming out on PS4, PS Vita, and Wii U. So look out for that if you like really old games.
Yeah.
And the last game that we checked out was Touhou something something something. I don't know the subtitle, but it's a Touhou indie game. That game is solid.
Yeah, I liked the switching around your specials. Mm-hmm. That was fun. That was probably my favorite part.
So you're running around in kind of like a dungeon crawl, third-person, eagle-eyed view dungeon crawler, and very similar to something like The Witch and the Hundred Knight. And you are using 3 abilities on map to your circle, triangle, and R1 button. And you need to use those to kind of navigate your way through the map, find the final boss, and kill him. The story of the game is pretty You're a vampire, you find a newspaper, you want to, and the newspaper has something about this super crazy beast man, and you need to kill that thing because you're bored.
Yep.
So you go on a journey.
Yeah, seems a bit repetitive. I like some of the ideas. Doesn't really seem like a buy. Sorry about that plane or helicopter flying over us. It's not coming to Vita, so I'll probably pass. They'll probably review it.
One of the most interesting things about this specific game is that they're unsure about releasing it on PC simply because Touhou has this kind of weird licensing issue where they refuse to sell games on Steam, and Marvelous isn't sure if they can sell enough if it's DRM free. So it all depends on how much they're selling on PS4, and from what they told us, they're still just testing the waters to see if Touhou is even a recognizable brand here in the West.
Thanks for watching. I'm Brett Medlock. We'll be covering a lot more of E3 throughout the week. Subscribe to our channel if you like this video. Follow me at BrettNLL. Where can I find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at SeniorBrownCat. Thank you for watching E3 After Hours.
We'll talk to you guys later.